joined now by Greg McDermott, head of the 2025-26 Creighton Bluejays season. Coach, this one looks a lot different for this team. You bring in 9 newcomers. What changes this year?
Well, I mean, that's it. Generally in practice you have, 9, 10 returners and a few newcomers, and the returners help those newcomers kind of find their way around. And this is a little bit different. The majority of the team is new. So it really puts pressure and a lot of weight on the shoulders of the guys that are returning to try to help them understand our culture, what our expectations are, what it means to be a Creighton Blue Jay. Those 6 or 7 guys that are returning have done an awesome job.
Well, you announced your coach in waiting, Alan Huss, obviously a familiar face to Creighton fans. What made this the right time to do that for you?
Yeah, I think in my mind, I always wanted one of my guys to replace me when the time was done, and they just all went out there and were really successful. And D-Rock gets the Indiana job, and I think Coach Huss was certainly interviewed for several high major jobs, so it was only a matter of time. And it seemed like the timing was right for me, and I'm close enough to that point. I don't know when that time is, but close enough that it made sense to at least have the conversation to see if Al was interested, and then bring it to the people that I work for. And Father Hendrickson and Marcus Blossom were on board with it, and I'm just grateful that it was able to get done, and the program's going to be in great hands for a long time.
Is there a point in your mind where hey, this will be the time to hang it up, or how are you going to make that decision?
No, I mean, I think those are hard to make. I think you reach a point in your life when maybe you lose a little bit of motivation and a little bit of energy, and you don't feel like you're giving those people that are looking to you everything that you have. And once I get to that point, then it's time to walk away and do something else. And I haven't reached that point yet, but 50 years old is way in the rearview mirror, and there's some other things I'd like to do in my life.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you here still at Creighton. When you think about Alan Huss and the guy that he is, what makes him the perfect fit to take over this job?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. Number one, he's an outstanding basketball coach, and he's proven that on really every level as a prep school coach, an assistant coach, and a head coach at High Point. But secondly, I think it's his care and love for this place, this university, this community. It shaped him to who he is today, and I think those values that he learned when he was here are going to make him a great leader for this program.
When you went out and got these 9 newcomers, whether they're freshmen or a transfer, what were you looking for in that portal specifically?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot to replace, and a lot of needs, and then we probably ended up with 1 or 2 more than we probably needed, because Fedora ended up getting that year back early in the summer. And then we weren't sure of the significance of Owen's injury and when he would be back, so we added Karem late. So we've got a lot of bodies, and I really felt like our depth probably cost us the opportunity to beat Auburn last year. They were much deeper than we were, and I didn't want that to happen again. So we have a lot of depth, but with depth comes some pressure to really be unselfish, because there are guys that are going to play a lesser role than maybe they want to, or there's guys that may play a lot one game and not as much the next because the matchups fit for somebody else, and our ability to be able to handle that is going to be critical to determine how successful we can be.
Does your style of play change whatsoever to adapt to those players' game, or do you keep those same philosophies?
Yeah, I mean, we recruited them to fit our system, and I think the pace that we play with, I think, fits this group really well. We've got a lot of shooting, which fits this group really well. Defensively is where it'll change. Kalkbrenner allowed us to do something that not many teams can do, and we're going to have to be different this year. So, how we're able to adapt and adjust to that is going to be really important for us.
Yeah, how about the splash Ryan Kalkbrenner's made early in the NBA preseason?
Yeah, I was able to go to Charleston and watch his first exhibition game. I promised I'd be there for the first one, and we had a nice dinner the night before with he and Rachel, and it's great to see him out there achieving his dreams, and to think about where he was as a freshman and how far he had to go, and his lack of confidence. To see him put on that NBA uniform for the first time was pretty special for me.
Yeah, and still seeing Doug going, obviously your son.
Yeah,
what's it like seeing him still going?
He's an old man, but his body's feeling the practices a little bit more than he used to. But he loves Sacramento, loves the culture there, loves the coaching staff, and really enjoys his teammates.
What kind of standards do you want to set for this season, this year? Obviously, lots of new faces, but what will remain the same?
Unselfishness. I mean, that's the key. Be a great teammate. Celebrate your teammates' success. Pick your teammates up when they're having a tough day. Those have been the staples that have allowed us to get through some adverse times. during the course of many of the seasons I've been here, and there's going to be some roller coaster times to this season, I'm sure, and how we handle that and how we support each other is going to be really critical for our success.
When you think about this season specifically, what will fans get to see in terms of the product on the court? You mentioned the depth, you mentioned the pace of play. What are you looking forward to most of showcasing this team?
Yeah, I mean, I just think the team's versatility. I think we have a lot of guys where there's not a lot of difference in what they can do. So you'll see guys running to the scores table a little bit more than you have in the past, where we were trying to maybe buy some time for some of those starters that played such big minutes. And I'm not sure that'll be the case this year. I think we'll be able to keep guys fresh. But that pace and shooting and unselfishness has always been a staple of our program, and I think that's what our fans will see again this year.
Well, Coach, I'll leave you on this. When your time is done, whenever that time is, how do you want fans to remember you as a head coach?
I mean, I just think I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy the relationships with the players. I've enjoyed the people that I've had an opportunity to meet in this community, and I try to treat those people as fairly as I possibly can. But you know, we have fun with what we do here, and it's a lot of work and there's a lot of pressure. But I don't ever want to coach the joy out of the game for these guys. They started playing this game because they love the game of basketball, and I think some young coaches in particular, because they feel the pressure, they coach that joy right out of the game and you know, let the pressure they feel on themselves be passed over to the players. And I hope when people look back on my career, they don't feel like I did that.
I love it. All right, Coach Mack, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.